Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl Ari Charmaine, and this is the very first episode of Sister Speaks with Ari Charmaine. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm so excited because this is my very first episode. When y'all tell y'all, I literally was like shaking in my boots just now before I pressed that record button. OMG. But at the end of the day, God is good. I'm here to do His will. First of all, let's start by saying, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all could have been doing anything else, but you chose to click on my little link, so I appreciate that, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. This YouTube channel is designed to be a light, to be an encouragement. The reason why I called it Sister Speaks is because I want to encourage a sisterhood environment. I am the oldest of 4 children. I'm originally from California, have 2 sisters and a younger brother. And when I tell you I have been drawn to just younger women, they come to me for advice. They come to me for encouraging words. Sometimes I'll be like, why are you coming to me? I'm struggling too, girl. What you looking at me for? But that just says that they see something in my spirit and my personality that allows me to, give them an encouraging word. So I feel like, why not share that with the rest of my sisters in this world? Like, we all struggling through the same stuff. Why not uplift each other? And with that being said, this channel is for all women, but specifically my Black queens. I really am reaching out to you guys because you all are just my heart. I love every single woman that watches this YouTube channel. You are beautiful, you are loved, you are gorgeous, you are talented, you are purposed, and you are prosperous. Always remember that. So that brings us to our very first topic today, called self-love. So today's topic, I decided to talk about self-love because it's really what I'm going through right now in my life. Been married before and divorced, been in a relationship since then, and I've also often found that sometimes self-love, we as women don't really attend to that a lot. We always tend to, always worried about loving everybody else, and we tend to throw that love word around a lot. Oh, I love this, and I love that, and oh, I love, like for me, I love me some Drake, okay? I would throw that, I love me some Drake. But even in all seriousness, we throw that love word around like it's nothing. And do we really understand what love means? Let's take a look. When you love someone, you do things, to show them that you care about them. Some people say nice things. Some people, spend money, take them out in nice places. Some people will invest in your dreams to show you that they love you. Some people will, just be there for you to show that they love you. So with that being said, what about doing that for ourselves? Why don't we ever want to take that time to show that same love and appreciation for ourselves? So I was listening to Tank's album. Yes, y'all, I do listen to Tank. For real, his album was good. Now, first of all, let me side note. I am definitely saved, sanctified, and covered in the blood of Jesus. Let's get that straight. But that don't mean I don't listen to Tank every now and then, okay? That's one of my favorite R&B singers. The boy can sing. So I was listening to Tank's album called Savage, and the song that came on was called Do For Me, or What You Gonna Do For Me. And as I was listening to it, I was liking it. He was talking about, asking, the man doing all this, or what you gonna do for me if I do this and that and the third. And I sat there and I thought, and I said, you know what? Let's flip that around on ourselves. Oftentimes we expect other people, like I said, to do a lot of these other things for us, but yet we don't do it for ourselves. So ladies, let's take some time to get real. Okay, we're gonna get real. It is very important to know who you are and whose you are and what you will and will not accept. There's no way you can know that until you know who you are, until you spend time getting to know you and who you are in Christ and God. God thinks of us so highly in the Bible. He thinks of us as queens. And so until we start to look at ourselves that way, we'll never operate in that destiny. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to love yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to show you that you value who you are. You value your time, you value your attention, you value everything that comes with being you. You value that, the good, the bad, the flaws. You love you. So the first thing that I found was very helpful to do was to date myself. I took myself out on dates. I still do take myself out on dates. I like to go to sushi bars. I like to go to the movies. I like to go shopping by myself, get my nails done by myself. I've never been a girl that needs a lot of women around me to enjoy myself, but I enjoy being around women, if that makes sense. But I definitely take the time to definitely get to know me. Like, I get to know the type of places I like to go to, the type of food that I like to eat, the type of movies that I may like. I take the time and may see a different movie that I would never choose and might end up liking it. It's all about getting to know who you are because, for instance, my single ladies like myself, when you start to, when you start to date and you start to go through the different, men that you come in contact with, you're going to find that one man that's confident in himself that's going to want to treat you the way he feels that you should be treated. But you got to believe in you, sis. You have to know who you are. You have to love you. You have to be okay with, even if you don't find that man, it may take you 5 or 10 years for that man to find you, for that man to come into your life. Are you going to be content for those 5 or 10 years with who you are as a woman? Are you going to embrace the you? That's the lesson I had to learn the hard way, y'all. And I'm just trying to really grasp, like, being by yourself is not a bad thing. It actually is one of the most precious, sacred times that you can have in your life, is that alone time. Because number one, you get to talk to God. You get to talk to yourself. You get to basically refocus and center your mind and thoughts and talk about your goals, what you want to accomplish, where you see yourself. You just get a whole big old picture when you spend that time with yourself. It's also important to invest in yourself. For instance, if you have, that goal that you're trying to accomplish, and it takes money it's the saying that says it takes money to make money, and that's true. If you have a goal that you're trying to accomplish, if you got, get your check and you get a little extra $20, and you have something that you're trying to accomplish for your goal, put that money aside. Invest in yourself. You can't expect somebody to believe in your dreams and your goal if you won't even put aside what it takes to make that happen. You have to put aside what it takes to make it happen. It's always, a lot of people, you never know who's watching you too. Anybody can look at you and see that, oh, she looked like she have it all together, or she looked like she, just got it all right. It's okay to sometimes feel like you don't have it all together. Sometimes you don't have it all right. But at the end of the day, walking in that purpose and always staying faithful and always knowing that at the end of the day, what you're doing is for a bigger cause, it's going to pay off at the end. So always invest in yourself. Take that time to, spend money on the things that'll make you better. Go and get that, waist trainer that's going to help your waist when you go to the gym. Invest in yourself. It's okay to buy that. Go and get that new face cleanser brush that's going to help you get rid of the acne in your face so that you can have a clear skin. Invest in yourself. And I'm not just talking about, yes, it's good to invest in your goals too. I did say that earlier. But in little stuff too. Taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, your spirit, watching what you eat, exercising. Those things are all a part of taking care of yourself and investing in you. Invest the time that it takes to make you better. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was encouraging yourself. So oftentimes, like me, I'm a woman that likes to hear words of affirmation. I like for people to, compliment me. But for a long time, when people would compliment me, I would never really believe it. I never really would. I'd be like, what you talking about? They'd be like, oh, your hair looks so good today. I'm like, girl, I just threw this together. What you talking about? But I would say thank you just off the fact that that was a nice thing to do. Well, after a while, I started to say, I don't like when people compliment me. Because number one, I don't believe what they say. It makes me uncomfortable. So I had to think, what is it about compliments that I'm not receiving? And what it was, I don't compliment myself enough. So I had to stop and think, why do I not compliment myself enough? Is it because I don't think that I am these things? Is it because I don't think that I look good? Is it because I don't think that I'm beautiful? Is it because I don't think that I'm smart, or I'm intelligent, or I'm charismatic? What is it about it? So the point of that is to always encourage yourself. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, Being Mary Jane. Well, Being Mary Jane is one of my favorite TV shows because it really showed the real of women and our emotions, and it really showed our hearts on her sleeve, really, and how we dealt with our different issues, whether it could be family issues to where we have low self-esteem, whatever it may be. What she did to help kind of cope with that was she put little sticky notes of words of encouragement on her mirror in her bedroom, just so that when she woke up every morning, she saw positive things about herself. Do y'all not know that when you invite positive energy into your space, that starts to really encompass your entire aura? You start to become a more positive person when you start to invite more positive things into your space. Those words of affirmation can become positive words that you think about throughout the day. When somebody compliments you and says, you look very pretty today, you'll also believe it, because on your mirror, you also told yourself you look very pretty today. And you're like, oh, that's the second time I heard that. You know what I'm saying? So it'll become a process, and after a while, it'll start to just become normal, to where you'll start to really walk in who you are and how you feel. You gotta walk and feel beautiful, sis. It's all about you. Love you, girl. I'm telling you, it's one of the best feelings I've ever came across, when I learned to love me, learn to cherish me, and take care of me, and appreciate me. I'm telling you, the results are amazing. Just inside, they're amazing. I feel a different spirit. I feel a different positivity. The next topic that I want to talk about is reading more positive books that uplift your spirit. There are two books that I am reading right now. One is called A Knight in Shining Armor by Stormy Wilson. And the other one is Purpose, A Black Privilege, Purpose Comes to Those Who Create It by Charlemagne the God. And with reading those two books, one of them is about dating and finding the right man in a spiritual way, and the other one is about just creating your own purpose. It was actually what inspired me to start this YouTube channel, creating my own purpose, because at the end of the day, nobody gonna get out there and spread the message the way that I feel I can. And oftentimes, when you want things to change, you sometimes have to just step out on faith and make it happen. As scared as I was to do this, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was so nervous to do this, but I know that at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's not about how I feel. It's about the purpose that God has placed upon my heart and on my life, and the need to share that with the world. So that's just what I'm doing. But back to reading books. So reading books that uplift you, that teach you how to be, more disciplined in maybe your spending, your saving. Teach you how to be more disciplined in maybe your walk with God. Teach you how to be more disciplined in recognizing different vibes and energies that come into your space. Those are all good books to read, things to get into and to study on, just to better yourself. It's all about watching what you put into your spirit, because ultimately that's what's going to come out in how you act. My single ladies, let me talk to y'all for a second, because I'm in the position right now where I can really relate to y'all. When I became single, about, I want to say 7 months ago, it was challenging, because I was used to spending all of my time with that person. Like, we did a lot of stuff together. And when that first few weeks where we weren't together and we weren't having any communication, it was challenging for me. But I was given these books, the two books that I'm reading, and they really taught me how to basically just take care of my mind, my body, and my soul. Oftentimes we get in relationships and we allow the person that we're with to kind of become everything. They control our minds sometimes with, how we think. Sometimes we start to think like them, which oftentimes is not a bad thing if you think like the person you're with, if they're thinking in a productive way. That's when it's good. If it's not, if it's in a controlling way, we got a problem and you need to reevaluate. But oftentimes we also allow that person to control our emotions, and how they feel affects how we feel. And that ain't it, sis. That is not it. So getting into books that teach you, how to take control of this, learn. Always good to read for knowledge, number one. And then it's always good to read, number two, to enhance your vocabulary. That way, you're talking and you say some word and everybody like, oh, I never heard that word before. And you feeling all, good, because you learned a big word. You know how to use it in a sentence. I done did that before, y'all. It's very, very, very proud moment. But, so yeah. And the next thing I want to talk about is isolation. Now, when you in a place in your life where you're by yourself and you feel like your friends ain't really, coming around like they used to, you kind of just, go to work, go home, chill by yourself. You ain't got no man. You family isn't, calling and texting like they used to. You find yourself in a state of isolation. Now, society tends to make us think that being by yourself ain't cool, and you got to be around somebody, got to be with somebody all the time. And that's not necessarily true. Isolation, sometimes God uses isolation for us as a good thing, to refocus us, to recenter what we need to be focused on in life, to get us to basically see the bigger picture. Maybe we might be heading down the wrong path, and we taking people with us, and he needs to remove us to get us to understand isolation is not a bad thing. I know for myself, these last few months I've been in a position of isolation where I haven't really hung out with a lot of friends. I see my immediate family on a regular basis, but yeah, friends, we just wasn't rocking like that. God really removed all of my friends from me, and the ones I really feel close to are, off overseas. But my friends here in Dallas, he kind of took them out of my life for a little minute, and I was like, well, dang, why? I feel like, things, this, that, and the third occurred, and it wasn't my fault. Well, he really spoke to my spirit and told me that you need to refocus as far as the purpose that you had your friends in your life for. And y'all, when I tell you, that was a word. That was a word. I had no idea that at that moment, my friends were in my life at that moment for fun. I was, like I said, going through a divorce at the time, and I needed to just have fun. I wanted to just unwind, let loose, not think about what I was going through, and those friends were in my life for fun at the time. And I started to lose sight of what was really important because I was so focused on having fun. I didn't care about nobody else's feelings. I know y'all done been there where y'all forget that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all done been there where you ain't worried about nobody's feelings. You done been hurt one too many times. You I'm finna go do me, girl. I ain't worried about him, her, or whatever they got going on. I was that girl. But I also started to see my relationships with my friends start to suffer. We started to argue over little things. We weren't there for each other in certain situations. And it just started to really take a toll on me. And so God took me out of those situations to, one, refocus me, because obviously I wasn't being a good friend. Isolation is not a bad thing. It can help you regain focus of where you're headed and get you back on the right path, because ultimately it's about your purpose. Calling that purpose into your life, you'll start to see things manifest, but you have to call it into your life. And when you call it, you have to accept whatever God tells you, that's what it is. Another thing that we oftentimes get, wrapped up in is we feel like a man should be complete. Once I find that man, girl, I'll be good. I'll be complete. No, boo-boo. No, sis. That ain't the way, girl. Sister speaking right now, I'm telling you, a man should never be your completing factor, ever. If a man is ever your completing factor, sis, you need to stop, drop, and roll to the dog in your quiet place and have a little talk with Jesus. Tell him all about it, because men will always fail you. That's never gonna change. A man is not meant to make you happy 24/7. And I'm not just talking about men physically. That's people, period. If you always put your trust in people, let me tell you, you're gonna be disappointed every single time. And look, I'm not speaking from something that I don't know about. I done it before. When I tell you I love hard, and I tend to have also in the past put a lot of things before God and before myself. And I ultimately end up leaving feeling empty, like I just gave everything and I didn't get nothing. You never get nowhere being that way. You'll always end up feeling incomplete every time. So you should always remember, in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. That is one of the most truest scriptures that I was ever introduced to. Rest in peace to my father, Hans for Kenneth Warline. He ingrained that scripture in me. And y'all, when I tell y'all I live by that, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, that means in everything you do, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. If you, in everything you do, seek him first, and he's going to tell you whether you should do it or whether you should not. When it comes to that man, talk to God about him. If you really starting to feel him and you think it might be something, talk to God about him. Ask him to show you his heart. He's going to show you. He'll show you everything you need to know. But you got to be okay with the answer. That's where it comes in. But that's going to be saved for another episode, y'all. I got y'all. We're going to talk about that. But back to you. Find the thing that motivates you and drives you. Find the gift in you that makes you happy, that makes your heart smile, that makes you want to be a better woman, that makes you want to uplift other people, that makes you want to spread the knowledge and spread whatever you've learned. Oftentimes, we get so wrapped up in the fact that we've learned something that we don't ever want to drop that knowledge to nobody else. We always want to keep it to ourselves, and I don't want nobody to steal my swag and copy my thing. That's selfish ways of thinking. If we're trying to really truly spread love and light, whatever you learn and the next person trying to learn it just like you, just let them know. Because you know what might happen? They might be able to figure out something that you didn't figure out and be able to help you. You never know. It's all about spreading that knowledge. And as women, we oftentimes can be catty and messy and just all over the place, not trying to help each other out, always trying to get ahead of the next woman. And it's time out for that. It's time that we stand together. It's time that we come together as women of God, as women in Christ, as women, period, to change the standard, change the tradition, change the narrative of us being against each other. Let's start being for each other. I got you. You got me. We got each other. We all here. That's what it's about. I'm here to tell you how to love yourself and how to embrace who you are and how to embrace that woman in you, to embrace that purpose that God has deep down inside of you that he's trying to bring out. Embrace that. You are meant for a purpose in this life. There's something you got to be doing. You just ain't found it yet. And you need to figure it out. Let's talk about spending time with God. Oftentimes when we are in that self-love, self-care season in our life, we tend to really forget that we need to be seeking God in that time. That's the time when God really wants to hear from our hearts. He really wants to form that intimate relationship with him. He wants us to be able to come to him about anything, relationships, friends, jobs, goals. Anything that you can think of, God has the answer. It's in that book. It's in there. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody is saying about church ain't it, and Jesus ain't it, and God ain't relevant, the Bible not relevant. No, that's a lie. Everything you need is in that book. Every single thing. Oftentimes we focus on, while we're in our single season and our isolation season, we tend to wonder when God is going to move on our behalf, when he's going to bless us with the new car, the new job, the man, the kids, the marriage, everything. We as women, we tend to put a timeline on everything that we do in our lives. Why? I don't know. That's just how we do. We like to see it out, see what's going on next, because that's just how we do. Our minds are just that complex. Men, they're not that, they like to just go with the flow as it goes. We are, more complex than that. And it's okay. We got to embrace that. That's just who we are as women. But sometimes we kind of get ahead of ourselves with that. And we don't tend to realize that a lot of times the things that we are waiting on, it's got to happen in God's time. And God's time is ultimately when he feels we are ready. Because a lot of the times it says in his word that he's not going to give us nothing that we can't handle. Everything that he gives us is because he knows that we are equipped to handle it. My pastor just preached on this yesterday about God giving you the measure of faith to be able to accomplish anything that you have, that you want to do. He's already given it to you. So it's about you tapping into that and releasing that faith and walking on that. Because faith without works is dead. You can believe all day and have faith that God's going to do it, but what you going to do as far as making it happen? You got to step out on faith, sis. It's all about stepping out on faith, but in God's time. And while you're waiting for him to tell you it's time, you need to be preparing yourself in his word, getting steadfast in his word, standing on what he says, putting that in your spirit every day, talking to yourself, telling yourself who you are in God. That's how you get it. That's how you get it. And it's also important to never look at God as a genie. We can't rub his belly and tell him, oh, Lord, I want that man to, be, just perfect for me. I want him to. It don't work like that. Yes, we can. When we pray to God, it's important to pray and be specific. It says, make your request known unto man, unto God, and he will fulfill the things that your heart desires. But in your waiting period, we have to pray for that peace and that surpasses all understanding, that peace that allows us to be okay with, okay, it's not going to happen now. It may not happen tomorrow. It may not even happen a year from now. But knowing and being okay in that, just that point that it's going to happen for you, because that's what God says is going to happen for you, we got to remember, our thoughts are not his thoughts. Our ways are not his ways. A lot of the times when we think things should happen, when we think it should happen, how we think it should happen, oftentimes it ain't going to happen that way. Oftentimes it's going to happen in a way that you probably was like, whoa, where did that come from? I did not expect that, but it's exactly what I asked for. It just didn't happen the way I wanted. That's how God works. He's not a cookie cutter God. He's not a God that does everything the same for everybody every time. You may want the same thing that the sister next to you want, but that does not mean He's going to give it to you the same way He gave it to her. He may take you through a little bit more peaks and valleys to get you to learn a little bit more before He gives you the same thing that sister got. And you never know. You may even get blessed with a little bit more than what she has. It's all about your process. Trust your process. Trust your love, your time that it takes you to love yourself. Trust the time it takes you to find out who you are. Trust God. Trust God. So, y'all, that is the end of my first episode. OMG! I just finished the first episode of Sister Speaks. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I want to say thank you for listening. I pray that somebody's life was touched, somebody's heart was touched from what I said. I pray that you are able to, go through this journey with me, because we gonna go through it together. I'm learning myself just like y'all are learning yourself, and I hope that this video found you in a place where you can really embrace it and take from it something that helps you in the future. Well, y'all want to follow me on social media? I will be putting my information down in the information section, so definitely feel free to subscribe to my channel, like my video, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. My Instagram is _Charmaine _0890, and my Twitter is Black Queen 90ting. Black Queen, BLCK Queen 90ting. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. My Facebook is Ariana Charmaine. Definitely follow me on everything, y'all. I definitely want to hear from you. Tell me what you think. Give me your feedback. If you feel like something spoke in your spirit, definitely drop it down in the comments, y'all. I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for joining. It's Sister Speaks with Ari Charmaine. It's Sister Speaks. See y'all next time.